The world around you is changing quickly as AI is going to be taking your job. Amazon just fired a ton of workers. If you don't feel like working, you could be like this man here and stay as a teenager forever. And the SNAP benefits have come to an end as many starve in the streets. It's all right here. Anthony Del tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Anthony Dell tonight. Amazon has laid off a ton of workers who have lost their job to automation. Not illegal immigrants, automation, robots, illegal robots. No, the robots are completely legal. I have a insider who snuck into a warehouse, and we're gonna see those robots hard at work. Before we jump into that, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to support the channel. And also check out the link to our Patreon for access to the Discord where you could be part of the writer's room and you can suggest topics for the show and get credits. So, right, big companies are laying off workers. This is what everybody's fearful of with artificial intelligence. Their jobs are replaceable. If you do simple things at a desk, data analysts, money management, things that you feel like if you're sitting there and you feel like you can be replaced by a computer Dora, you can be placed by a computer. If you can think it, it can happen. That's the reality here. But let's pinpoint Amazon specifically, who had a major layoff. Let's jump right in.
Amazon is planning to cut 14,000 corporate jobs starting this week. It is one of the largest rounds of layoffs in the company's history. Why would Amazon be doing this right now, ahead of the holidays, while the company seems to be doing well? Well, in a note to employees this morning, they say the world is changing quickly. This generation of AI is the most transformative technology we have seen since the internet. And that's really echoing what CEO Andy Jassy started signaling this summer when he said generative AI could mean fewer workers. And Amazon isn't alone here, making these changes in the midst of a major AI transformation. Target announced last week that it will be eliminating about 1,800 roles. Other tech giants like Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Intel have also made cuts this year. And this is important to follow because tech companies are a bellwether for the broader economy. They can be. And right now, hiring is slowing for the first time since the pandemic. There are more unemployed workers than jobs available, although overall unemployment is still historically low at 4.3%. And we've been talking about this AI transformation that we are seeing right now. Some have likened it to the Industrial Revolution, but the Industrial Revolution took place over many, many years. This is going so fast. So while AI will create jobs, they might be created slower than some of this job destruction we're seeing. And it's really something to follow.
Yeah, this is something to follow intently. Of course, it's not going to be like the Industrial Revolution that took place over many, many years. The technology moves so rapidly, jobs are going to be replaced very fast. Am I supposed to sit here and feel bad? I don't know. Here at the show, I love giving takes in real time. I find things and I give it in real time. I don't sit there and think, what do I think about this? I watch it with you guys in real time and I give you live feedback. I don't feel bad in this very moment. The writing was on the wall for years and years and years. I mean, if you were working at one of these, Target, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Intel, you're replaceable, man. Even the people that are programming, they're programming their own demise. They're programming their own replacement. So this is a whopping no figures there. Also, if you can't tell on the show, I don't get the big articles. I find the figures, the people that are yapping their lips like this. It's fun. 14,000 jobs, I believe she said. That's huge before the holidays. Now, that's the only part I do feel bad about is like, come on. You got to let these people, how they going to get gifts? How they going to get gifts with no job? How you going to get gifts with no job? And then, these are the type of, jobs that popped up in the Industrial Revolution, was these warehouse jobs and factory jobs, and you can work at, General Motors, and you can live off that wage and have a home and a family and children and live that American dream and the white picket fence and all the above. Now it's gotten a little more scary in the fact that you're not working on a car, you're just putting things in a box, making sure that people get a package, making sure that, if someone orders a dildo at 2 a.m., make sure they get that dildo first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., next day delivery. And you're sitting there and the holidays are coming around and you're struggling and you're having a hard time. And then down the conveyor belt, the day you're having is already like, fuck, dude, I'm working at fucking Amazon. I'm not making enough money. I got to put food on the table, busting my ass. I respect that. And then you're sitting there and you look down the conveyor belt and just a dildo. And you're just like, damn, 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 I got to put, and that's you got to grab that dildo and you got to put it in the box, seal the box, and you see that it's there for a 7 a.m. delivery on someone's doorstep. Incus, incus, inqui, in, sequipid, what the is the word? Insequishibint, male, something male? I don't know. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? If you're working one of these jobs right now, and I'm telling you, like I said in the beginning, I got a warehouse over my shoulder. I see these trucks, these Amazon trucks, first thing in the morning, they're all lined up for this left turn at the red light. The whole freaking freeway, like all the way down, there's at least 3 dozen trucks, I shit you not, lined up, more maybe. FedEx too is over there. So just all these trucks, packages going out, music blasting, people getting ready to do their deliveries, do their rounds. That's replaceable, man. That's replaceable. These trucks are going to drive themselves. All the Amazon trucks are like those Rivian trucks. They're electric already. They look like the trucks from Black Mirror. Next thing you know, no one's going to be behind that wheel. It's quite simple. It's quite simple. Maybe it starts with. Now, I think like probably there's always going to be someone operating the truck. I mean, that's the future of the 18 wheelers. That's the Tesla semi truck, is that it can drive itself, but you need, at least for the beginning, maybe 2, 3, 5 years, maybe you're going to see the position of like truck operator, making sure that, oh my gosh, if something goes wrong, if it breaks down, whatever, someone's there to take care of the truck. That seems like a job that's always going to be needed, but probably that's what everything seems like. That's what no one's safe. My job isn't safe. They can replicate me right now. Right now, right in this moment, they can replicate my ass. They can freaking replicate my ass. Get an Italian 5'6" white male with a slick back hairdo, slightly receding, put him at a desk with decent lighting and a shit backdrop and get him to talk about this. Feed it to Sora right now. You'll get me, this guy. So, if you feel like you're safe, you're not. The only way out of it is to maybe be, I don't know, entrepreneurship or something, they say. Like fucking, sell stilettos. Sell snowboards, or just don't conform to the system. But that's a whole thing in itself. If you don't want to conform to the system and you don't want to get laid off and have your job replaced by a robot, then, you got to like get off the grid. What does that mean? You got to like get a house in like Vermont or something. You got to get a house in Vermont, nice little farmhouse. You can redo the kitchen. You can give it like a nice aesthetic and little archway, like between the living and the, where you think, it's like a square wall. It's like a square wall, but then you put these arches there and you made them yourself and you worked really hard on it. And like that looks nice, and you got like some secondhand furniture that you refurbish and you made it yours, and that's cute. And and how do you make money? Like you work nearby somewhere where like it hasn't reached, the robots haven't gotten to you yet, but they will. You can count on that. Unfortunate turn of events here for the people who are working at Amazon. I do feel bad because it's before the holidays. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't get your kids gifts? Can't get your loved ones gifts? You gotta find a job before the holidays. Who's hiring like in this window right now? Nobody. 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 You can't get hired at a new job this time because now like the holiday parties are coming up and you're gonna be too new for the holiday parties. They're gonna be like, there's the new guy. Like no one's really gonna, you know what I mean? How you gonna assimilate in such a short time? You know, you went from hired to you got to bring. You know, can you bring a potato casserole? There's not enough time. There's not enough time for that. You need more time for potato casserole. You know, you can maybe bring like, you know, you can get the a fruit tray, you can get the yogurt tray, you can bring the dip, the ranch dip, you can bring the soda, but now everyone knows the new guy is the cheap guy. You don't want to be the cheap guy. You want to be the fun person that baked the cake. You baked this cake? Yeah, I baked this cake. You know, I'm so glad, you know, to be part of the company. And I thought everyone really loved some cake. And now you're the cake guy. Isn't that nice? Shout out to Amazon. And I love that this woman's like, I presume they're having a good year. Yeah, yeah, Amazon's doing great. Amazon's doing great, as the people in New York City would say. Amazon's doing great, hon. Amazon's doing great, babe. Don't you worry. Amazon's doing fantab. Amazon's doing fantab. Fantastic. And she's doing good with that gold chain. How do I get that?
Time since the pandemic, there are more unemployed workers than jobs available, although overall unemployment is still historically low.
What does this even mean? What is it like? There's more unemployment than jobs available. I don't get that. It's never like, I don't know, my white privileged guy, like what's going on? Someone tell me in the comments. Call to action. Tell me in the comments, am I a piece of shit? Oh, I don't know. It's just I feel like I see job listings everywhere, and yeah, it's competitive and shit. And you see those videos and like people like, I put out 300 applications. It's like, did you really 300? There's no jobs available. Like this jobs report. I I don't get it. It's all fairy dust. It's fugazi. It's fugazi. It's Let's swing this thing out to our media correspondent Nick, who snuck into a warehouse and got footage of these robots at work.
Been hearing a lot of robots, robot this, robot that. Snuck into a fucking warehouse. Here we are. No people in sight. Little bots picking up little tables with big boxes. Would have broke my back. These are the robots of Long Island. We call them the Goombots of Long Island over here. You can hear it in my voice. I gotta keep it low, but I am excited. We're talking about some money saving, but also I'm a little taken back because America is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of an American back. And I'm not backing down to these fucking AI boom bots. And that's it.
That's our media correspondent Nick on the scene, looking at the robots hard at work. And, you know, he makes a great point there. This country's built on the backs of Americans, on the spines of Americans. Look at this robot carrying weight, bro. Double stacking right there. He's concerned and excited, and that's what you should be too. That's what you should be too. Here's your fate right here. Your fate is right here in this moment. You're watching me watching this. This is it. This is it. This is what it's going to be. They're going to have the green lights. The ones that are vicious are going to have the red lights. You know not to fuck with those ones. They're having a rough day. This is what it is. Thank you to our media correspondent, Nick, on the scene at the warehouse. We hope he gets out of there safe. Look, if you don't feel like working, you could just be a 28-year-old teenager or a 30-year-old, 40-year-old teenager. It doesn't really matter. Like this young man or young teen here. Let's take a look. This is fantastic. So here's this guy who, haters stay mad, I guess. What does he do all day? Questions I get asked about being an unemployed 28-year-old teenager. So this is new to me. This is new to me. He's a 28-year-old teen. He's doing the dance. He's doing the thing. Boom, psh, bom, 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 bom. I'm pretty good at that. Dum, 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 boom, psh, bom, 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 bom. Pretty damn decent. So look, he asks a couple questions. How do you afford rent? He lives with his parents. Boom. Thank you. What do you do all day? Minecraft and Roblox. Fantastic. Do you think you're a failure? No, he's pretty normal. Yeah, duh, he's a teenager. So if you don't want to work, and your parents are cool with it, like his may or may not be, you could just do this. You could just be 28 and doing this. I'm curious what a day in the life is like for this 28-year-old teenager.
It's 1:30 and I just woke up and it's time to get out of bed. Alright, it's 3 p.m. I got a Discord message, all of my kittens, because they're probably waiting for me. Hey kitten! It's 4 p.m, time to shower. JK. It's 6:30 p.m, which is time for groceries. But groceries for a Discord moderator is just ordering food on Uber Eats. Alright, I'm gonna apply for one job. GameStop job applications. Aha! After a long and hard day, it's time to reward myself with some Minecraft. Yay, I love Minecraft. It's 1:30 and I just woke up and it's time to get out of bed.
I mean, this isn't a joke. This is real. This is real. This is as real as it gets. This could be your life. This could be you. This could be you. You don't gotta go to work. 1:30 p.m. up, sharp, ready to go. Look how excited he is. He's got his favorite sweatshirt on. No groceries, Uber Eats, bro. You don't have to leave. You don't even have to shower. Who's gonna smell you? Nobody. Play your favorite game. Doesn't have to be Minecraft. COD, whatever tickles your fancy there. By the way, if you join the Discord, we won't be doing this.
It's 4 p.m.
That's not what goes on at the Discord. Join the Discord to suggest more topics. Join it now. Right now. I'm fucking watching. But yes, 28-year-old teenager. This is what you could do. If this interests you, let me know in the comments. I can connect you with this guy, give you some tips here on how to accomplish this. Because you know what? I'm sure it's not easy. I'm sure he hears a lot of backlash. People in the comments. Let's see what people are saying. Someone said, I need you. So maybe not. People are sending job applications. Someone get this man some help fast. He seems happy to me. What does he need? What does he need help with? Do you have a wife? I don't remember. That's not so good. I blocked your account. How are you still showing? Bro. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. What an unfortunate life. I mean, what if he's happy like that, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if that's cool with him? What if he does have like some form of a job? He goes to GameStop, he works there, and he comes home and like this is what he wants to do, and he's content with dying like this. To each his own. To each his own. This is America. It's built off the backs of the robots and the backs of the blood, sweats, and the tears of the backs of the people of the Americans. This is what people in World War II and the World Wars and Vietnam and all the wars and the Civil War have died for. They died for this. They died for this. Now, you could sit there and say, they died for this? Or you could say, no, they died for this. That's the confusion of the English language. It can mean inflections, two different things. They died for this? Or, no, they died for this. And I'm saying, they died for this. They died for this.
Because they're probably waiting for me. Hey kitten! It's 4 p.m.
They died for that. They died so I can sit here in front of this camera like a dumbass and watch this guy peek. He's peeking. I'm fucking doing a show. Not easy. Look at my notes. Look at these notes. Look at these notes. I got notes for days. You know, if you got family members that have been in wars, you know, you got a grandfather, World War II, whatever it might be, something like that, Vietnam vets. I mean, no disrespect. No disrespect. No disrespect to the teams. But I know this isn't what you died for. This is not it. You died for a much greater cause, or fought for a much greater cause. This is a shame. This is a shame. You know, I hope he stays happy and this works for him. But hey, just letting you know, this is what you can do if you want to do it. If you're fed up, if you don't know where to go, but you're also looking for direction. Telling you, telling you, telling you. Sure, he's got a Discord that with a lot of people, bro. Telling you, I'm sure he's got a lot of people in the Discord. Maybe they give him a few bucks. How do you think he affords Uber Eats? You know, you think he makes no money? I wouldn't say no money. He's definitely connected to something, bro. You could be a 28-year-old teenager. Look at him. He's out and about. Look at him. He's chilling. He's meeting this guy, doing a thing. He's out. He's got the sweatshirt. Look, he's at gaming. He's got friends. Bro, it's not all bad. What is this?
My Pookie Wizard Man 420 is streaming right now. W streamer, W streamer. Alright, y'all, no backseating while I play Hollow Knight Silk Song. $500. Can you bark for me? WTF? Mods, ban this guy. $420. Can you meow for me then? Meow meow. $690. Can I buy your stinky thigh highs? You're getting restricted from chatting for a bit.
Whoa! I'm done with this. Moving on. My bad. Dug too deep. Talk about stinky thigh highs. I'm going to throw up. Let me change what I said before. This is what they died for? That's better. The government shutdown is still alive and well, and now people on SNAP's food benefits are feeling the pain as they are now starving in the streets.
Really bad.
Danielle Grant is starving.
You know, I'm trying to see if I can get some food because we literally don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet, and we can.
Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant and many others got to the Hope Line today just to make an appointment to come back later in the week for food. Resources are slim, leaving 40% of Bronxites without money to feed themselves. Some still in shock.
We heard things before, but it's like, they're not going to let people starve. That's ridiculous, you know, but it's like, no, that's literally like what's happening.
She went from crying to not crying. She shouldn't be an actress. That wasn't really a good fake cry. Some of the comments. Fresh hair extensions, though. Fasting a few days couldn't hurt. LOL. It'd take a couple years for her to starve. A 15-pound bag of rice is $10. This is true. This is all true. You know, you'll see a lot of these videos of, you know, people claiming that they're starving. And New York City's a food desert and people are starving. There's real homelessness. There's real people that are rummaging through trash that are actually very starving. People on stamps, they can make ends meet. They can make ends meet. The groceries aren't that overpriced. They're higher, right? The grocery prices are higher. Everyone's feeling that. I'm feeling that. I understand that. But if you have a job, you could pay for the groceries. You could put food on the table if you have work. To say you're fully relying on stamps for food doesn't really add up. Does not really add up. Because if you're paying rent in the Bronx, you almost definitely have enough money for food. And if you don't have enough money for food, then you're spending extra income elsewhere on things that you might not need. Two things need to be taken care of. Roof over your head, which I presume is acquired, and food on the table. Nothing else is needed. Roof over the head, that also includes your electric bill, heating, air conditioning, whatever is needed there, and food in the home. Not dozens of snacks. not sodas. No. Bag of rice. Huge bag of rice. $10. $10. Get that. Mad rice. So much rice. Pounds of chicken. Just get chicken and rice. Beans, chicken and rice. You could you could look at me and say, "Well, that's unforgiving and that's harsh. That's not fair." But this is just the reality of what's going on right now. If the government wasn't shut down and these people are experiencing this, then I would say, okay, something needs to be done about this because this is a program and the program can't just be abolished because people do rely on this program. But with that being said, that's not the current situation. The government is failing the people. So what do? You got to bunker down. It's an unfortunate cycle that you see, and I don't want this for people. I don't want to sit here and come off as harsh, but you don't want this for Americans. You know, that's where we all are at the end of the day. We're all united in the same country. We all, should have should have the same opportunities to succeed. Opportunity. That doesn't mean that we should all have the same outcomes because those are different for everybody. It's based off luck, it's based off work, it's based off, but then how do you get that launch into a better situation, a better starting point, better cards you're dealt? And people start from these situations where they're living off snaps and they're living off food stamps and they persevere and they make it through, and it's a little bit of luck, talent, whatever, they decide to do, something. Something. It take hard work. But if you're, lining up and you're going to the media and you're, doing crying, no one's coming to save you. And that's the unfortunate truth. And that's the thing that I feel the worst about is, no one's coming to help. Anybody that says, I want to help you is lying. They want to help themselves. They want to get themselves reelected for whatever position. So they'll say whatever sounds good to get people excited, and then they'll turn their backs on you. It's the trick as old as time. They've been doing it forever. If you haven't caught on to it yet, I don't know what to tell you. So that it's an unfortunate thing. The government shutdown is taking a toll, and the worst take to have is to sit there and say like, oh, these people on food stamps, blah 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 blah, they got to figure it out, blah 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 blah. No, I mean we could have some sympathy here. We could be human, because while some people might be over exaggerating, others, might really be like really rely on that. Like they're just making rent and they're just covering the food because the SNAP benefits help. But again, it's not one party's fault or the other party's fault. It's the whole thing. It's the whole both. It's the both. It's one bird. It's two wings on the same bird. It's two wings on the same bird. They just can't agree on something, and that's what it is. Just stop getting caught up in the nonsense.
No goal. I was born to stay in the hood.
Are you gonna stay in the hood for the rest of your life?
I might.
How you gonna make money?
The government gonna take care of me. All I gotta do is have 8 kids and I'm Gucci. Do you know how much food stamps I could get with 8 kids? The hood is the land of opportunities. I can get a chopped cheese, Chinese food, and Don Julio on the same block.
Yo, now we're done.
I ain't got no gold.
He means it, bro. This kid means it. The hood is the land of opportunity. I mean, so be it. I guess so. The hood's the land of opportunity. You can get a chopped cheese and whatever else on the same block. Fantastic. Unfortunate, but Fantastic.
If you go get a job, they're going to take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit. Get on Section 8. Find you a nice apartment. Go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us. Getting no job.
As Ronald Reagan once said, the worst words you can hear is, "Hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you." No, they're not. This is the double side that must be seen. Because there's legitimacy and then there's people taking advantage. This is why these types of systems don't work. Because it's easy to take advantage of the government because the things that they do suck. They're not good at doing things. That's just not what that's just how I feel. Look at a ton of programs. There's good ones, and then there's really bad ones. And then when things shut down, you're left in a situation like this. When they fail you, you're screwed. You're screwed because you're reliant on something else to take care of you. You should never be in that position, even if you work for a company and they do everything for you. That company can fire you. Then what? You got nothing. The world is changing quickly. Adapt or just be a 28-year-old teenager. That's what I got. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this episode, like and subscribe to support the channel, and check out the link for the Patreon to join the Discord to suggest topics for the show and be a part of the writer's room. Good night.